Okay, let's unpack this. How many times have you felt that little knot in your stomach when facing a menu in English? Wondering what to say or how to respond. That moment where ordering even just like a simple glass of water feels like you're trying to navigate this linguistic maze, and suddenly your English feels like it's just gone on vacation without you.
Oh, absolutely. It's an incredibly common feeling.
Yeah.
It's something so many language learners experience. But honestly, mastering this one specific skill,
Mm-hmm.
confidently ordering food, asking questions about the menu,
Uh-huh.
just navigating those restaurant conversations, it really does profoundly transform your travel
Yeah,
experiences.
I bet.
And it can even make, everyday interactions in an English-speaking place so much more enjoyable. It turns that potential stress into genuinely delightful moments sometimes.
Absolutely. And that's precisely our mission today, isn't it? This deep dive is all about giving you the confidence to, wow, walk into pretty much any restaurant and engage like a local. We've really dug into some fantastic source material that breaks down every single step of the dining experience, making it incredibly accessible, even if you feel like you're just starting out.
Yeah, exactly. And by the end of this, you'll find that those moments that maybe felt a bit daunting before, they'll just sort of click into place for you. You'll learn how to order food naturally, how to ask about dishes without feeling hesitant, understand what your waiter is likely to say, and use all the essential phrases for all sorts of restaurant situations. It's really about building that practical fluency.
We're covering it all today. I mean, from the very first hello as you walk in to asking about the menu, figuring out what the waiter's questions mean, all the way to confidently paying the bill. And even those like subtle but really crucial cultural bits like small talk and, oh gosh, tipping.
Ah, yes, tipping. Always a fun one.
Right. We're going to equip you with the full toolkit. So are you ready? Let's get started.
Let's do it.
All right, let's begin right at the very beginning. That first interaction when you step inside a restaurant, it seems so simple, doesn't it? But it can often feel like the first hurdle to get over.
Definitely.
The waiter will almost certainly greet you with a friendly, hi, how many people? Or maybe just table for two.
Pretty standard stuff.
Yeah. And I vividly remember this one time I was traveling solo, and for some reason, that simple how many just completely threw me. My mind just went blank. I was searching for these complex sentences when really a simple answer was all that was needed. But, once you know these straightforward phrases, it becomes effortless.
And that's the beauty of it. Your natural responses are, well, incredibly straightforward and pretty much universally understood. You can just say, a table for two, please. Simple as that. Or, if you're dining solo, just me. Thank you. Just me.
Easy.
Easy enough. What's fascinating here, though, and actually quite important for cultural understanding, is why these phrases are so direct and yet still so polite. Adding that simple word, please, it isn't just a nicety. It instantly signals respect for the person serving you and for the whole service interaction.
Right. It smooths things over.
Exactly. In English-speaking cultures,
It's
sort of softening of language is, well, it's deeply ingrained. It transforms a direct request into more of an invitation, making the whole thing feel collaborative rather than demanding. It's efficient, it's clear, and it's considered highly courteous.
That makes so much sense because it really does smooth the way for the entire interaction that follows. Think about it. If you're that solo traveler, just me, thank you, it's perfect. Simple, polite. If you're with a group, it becomes a table for four, please, or five, or six, whatever it is.
Swap the number.
Or if you need to be the one to initiate the request, maybe it's busy, you can confidently ask, do you have a table for, number, please?
Yep. Do you have a table for three? Perfectly fine.
And often you'll find the waiter might even gesture towards a table, or maybe hold up fingers to indicate the party size, which kind of takes some of the pressure off you anyway.
Yeah, those nonverbal cues help a lot too. Don't forget to look for those.
Okay, so you've smoothly navigated the greeting, you're seated, you've got the menu in your hand, maybe you've even decided what you want to eat. But how do you actually voice that? How do you say it without sounding, well, demanding? That direct, I want, isn't quite right in English, is it? And it's a really common learner mistake that can just come across as a bit abrupt, maybe almost impolite in a service setting.
Precisely. Yeah, I want can sound a little harsh. What's really crucial to understand here is the nuance of politeness that's sort of embedded in everyday ordering phrases. Instead of that direct I want, which implies, yeah, demand, natural phrases like, I'll have the chicken sandwich, please, or
Yeah.
can I get a large coffee?
Yeah.
Or perhaps I'd like the pasta with tomato sauce. Those are far more appropriate and definitely more polite.
Okay, so I'll have, can I get, I'd like.
Right. And they each have a slightly different feel. I'll have implies, a decision you've made. You're ready for the service to start. Can I get is a bit more like a polite request, acknowledging the waiter's role in actually bringing you the item.
Okay.
And I'd like is also very polite, maybe slightly softer than I'll have. They all connect to that cultural expectation of service, where politeness really helps everything run smoothly and pleasantly for everyone involved.
Let's put these into practice a bit more then, because the more you hear them, the more, natural they'll feel when you go to use them yourself. Okay, let's imagine I'm the customer again, and you're my very patient waiter. I'm ready to order. I'm feeling hungry.
All right, sounds good. I'm ready. What can I get for you today?
Okay. I think I'll have the steak, please. Medium rare. And, it's been a long day, so can I get a glass of your house red wine with that as well?
Excellent choice.
Mm-hmm.
And C, that's exactly how you'd use I'll have and can I get really seamlessly in the same order. See how I'll have is perfect for your main decision, that clear declaration.
Right. And then can I get works perfectly for adding something extra, like the drink. It's that polite request.
Okay, that makes sense. And I'd like is also incredibly versatile then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially for maybe those little additions or modifications, like maybe I'd like a side salad instead of the fries, please.
Exactly. Or maybe asking for dressing on the side. I'd like the dressing on the side.
Ah, good one. Or maybe for dessert later, I'd like the chocolate cake for dessert, please. It gives you loads of flexibility, really.
Exactly. And these phrases, they also subtly manage expectations for both you and the waiter. They implicitly signal, okay, I'm ready to order now, which helps the whole flow of service. It's all about creating a smooth, efficient, and polite transaction. It literally, greases the wheels of the social interaction.
Okay, I'm getting it. So can I get? I'd like. Got it. But what if you see a dish name you just don't recognize? Or maybe you have specific dietary needs, allergies, things like that. This raises a really important question. How do you get clarity without feeling awkward or like you're being, a bother? That's a big one for a lot of people.
Yeah, because it's always better to ask than to, be surprised. Right? I once, somewhat bravely I thought, ordered something called Chef's Surprise at this tiny little cafe. I was thinking, well, this will be a delightful mystery.
Uh-oh. I feel like I know where this is going.
Well, it turns out the surprise was a very generous helping of liver, which, let's just say, isn't exactly my culinary passion.
Oh, dear. Right.
A simple what's in the chef's surprise would have saved me, and probably the poor chef, a very awkward moment later on.
That's such a great, albeit slightly unfortunate anecdote, and it perfectly illustrates the point, doesn't it? Polite inquiry phrases are your absolute best friend here. You can simply ask, what's in the chicken Alfredo?
Yeah.
Or the more general, can you tell me what's in this dish?
Okay, what's in? Or can you tell me what's in?
Yeah. If you're concerned about spiciness, is this spicy? Is perfectly acceptable. Waiters could ask that all the time. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, clear communication here isn't just about politeness. It's genuinely about your safety, especially with allergies.
Crucial.
And just ensuring your meal is actually enjoyable, not some liver surprise you didn't sign up for.
Exactly. And when it comes to dietary restrictions or allergies, being crystal clear is not just polite, it's absolutely necessary. So you can say things like, does this have nuts? I'm allergic. Or, is this dish vegetarian? Or, is it vegan?
Very common questions.
And if you just need a modification, can you make this without cheese? Is the way to go, or without onions, or whatever it might be.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask for those modifications. Most kitchens are quite accommodating if they can be.
Okay, let's try another mini scenario then. Expert, imagine I'm at a new Thai restaurant. Looks great. But I see a dish called Tom Kha Gai. I've heard of it, but I'm not sure if it has seafood, maybe shrimp, which I can't eat. How would I ask?
Okay, good real-world example. You can say, excuse me, what exactly is in the Tom Kha Gai? That's a good general start. Yeah. Or, to be even more specific about your concern, you could ask, does the Tom Kha Gai contain any shellfish? Or, does it have shrimp in it?
Right, being direct about the allergy or restriction.
Yes, being direct and clear about an allergy is really important. Or, if you're like some people I know and you just absolutely despise cilantro.
Oh, the cilantro debate.
Exactly. You can just ask, does this dish have cilantro in it? Or, can I get it without cilantro? Waiters are really used to these kinds of questions. Honestly, don't hesitate. It's part of their job to help you navigate the menu.
Okay, that's reassuring. So don't be shy. Just ask politely. Right, so you've asked your questions, you've clarified things, you've made your choices, feeling good. Now, It's the waiter's turn again. Shifting our focus to active listening now is really key to understanding what they need from you to complete your order or maybe check on you.
It's a two-way street.
Exactly. They might ask something simple like, would you like something to drink? Especially at the start.
Yeah. Or if you've ordered something specific like that steak you ordered earlier,
Ah, yes, the steak.
they'll almost certainly ask, how would you like your steak cooked? That's a standard follow-up. And for many dishes, something like, do you want fries or a salad with that? That's a very, very common question about side dishes.
The classic side dish dilemma.
Right. And this brings us to, like, a compelling observation about common pairings and assumptions. Waiters often offer those standard sides, fries, salad, because, well, they're popular and often included. But you nearly always have a choice, and they actually expect you to state your preference.
Okay, good to know. So for drinks, a simple yes, I'll have a glass of water, please, or maybe yes, a Coke, please. Or if you're all set for drinks, no, thank you, I'm fine for now, works perfectly.
Simple and polite.
Now, when it comes to steak, knowing that doneness scale is super helpful for clarity, isn't it? It avoids any confusion. So you've got rare, which is, very red, cool center. It's mostly red.
Then medium rare, which is warm but still quite pinky red inside. That's usually quite popular. Then medium warm pink center, less red. Medium well has just a hint of pink left. And then well done, which is cooked all the way through, no pink at all.
Good breakdown.
Yeah.
Knowing those terms is key.
So you could just confidently reply, medium rare please, or well done please, whatever your preference is.
And the waiter will know exactly what you mean.
And for sides, you might say, I'll have the fries, please, sticking with the standard. Or if you prefer something else, maybe healthier, can I get a side of vegetables instead? Or can I get the mashed potatoes instead?
Yeah, absolutely. Ask for alternatives if they're available. Sometimes there might be an extra charge for a different side, but they'll usually tell you if that's the case.
Good point.
Knowing these common questions and having your potential responses ready will truly help you feel prepared, less flustered, in pretty much any restaurant conversation. Even if, say, a waiter comes over and offers dessert before your main course has even arrived, it happens sometimes if they're busy or mixed up. Right, okay.
You can politely but firmly just say, oh, not yet, thank you, maybe after the main course. Just listen for those key words in their questions like drink, cooked, side, or the word or, which usually signals a choice. And you'll quickly understand what the waiter is asking. That active listening really empowers you in the moment.
Okay, makes sense. Listen for the keywords. Right, fast forward, you've eaten, you're full, you're satisfied, maybe had that chocolate cake after all. Now it's time for the final act, getting the check. Or the bill, as it's known in many parts of the world.
Yep, check in American English, often bill in British English, but people understand both.
Good distinction. And making your exit smoothly, the waiter might prompt you maybe when they clear your plates by asking, would you like the check? Or can I get you anything else? Which often implies, are you ready for the check? That anything else is often the cue. And your responses are, again, quite simple and direct. You can say, can I get the check, please? Or could we have the check, please? Or if they ask anything else and you're finished, no, that's all. Thank you. Just the check, please.
Perfect. Now, what's fascinating here and incredibly important for travelers is how much that tipping culture varies globally.
Yeah.
It's a huge point of confusion sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
In places like the U.S. or Canada, it's very customary, almost expected, really, to leave a tip for the waiter. Typically, it's around, say, 15 to 20% of the bill total before tax.
15 to 20%. Okay.
And this practice is just deeply ingrained in the service industry culture there. It's largely because service industry wages often rely on tips as a really significant portion of the worker's income. It's just how the economic system for restaurants works in those places.
That's such a critical point to understand, isn't it? It's not just extra money. It's often part of their expected earnings. And you can politely get their attention, maybe catch their eye, and say, excuse me, could we get the check whenever you have a moment? That sounds very natural and polite.
Very common phrase, yes.
But here's the interesting part that really highlights those cultural differences. If you're dining out in, say, Japan.
Japan. Big difference.
Right. Tipping is actually not common at all. In fact, trying to leave a tip can sometimes even be seen as a bit rude or confusing. Good service is just considered standard, part of the price you're already paying, no extra is expected.
Exactly. Same in many European countries. Tipping might be included as a service charge on the bill already, or it's just much less common, maybe rounding up the bill slightly or leaving a very small amount, not a large percentage.
So the takeaway is, do a little homework before you travel.
Definitely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, Just being aware of these local cultural norms around tipping shows immense respect. It helps you avoid awkward situations, maybe unintentional offense, and just navigate the end of the meal smoothly. Before traveling to a new country, a quick search online about local tipping customs is always a fantastic idea. Takes 2 minutes. It's a small act that demonstrates cultural sensitivity.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've covered the main steps, but now let's talk about something that runs through all of these interactions. Politeness. It's not just about knowing the right words, is it? It's so much about the delivery, the tone. And in English-speaking cultures, generally, politeness is really paramount in these service interactions.
That's spot on. You can know all the phrases perfectly, but without that polite tone, and crucially, sprinkling in those magic words, it can still sound a bit stiff, or maybe even unintentionally rude.
Like, what magic words are we talking about?
Well, the big ones. Please and thank you. They aren't just, polite extras. They're really essential social lubricants. They significantly improve the whole feel of the interaction. They convey respect for the service provider's effort and sort of their autonomy. Think about the difference between saying, get me a coffee versus, can I get a coffee, please?
Huge difference. The first one sounds like a command.
Exactly. The second one, with can I get and please, immediately softens the request and builds this tiny little bridge of goodwill. It's collaborative. And when someone helps you, brings your food, refills your water, gives you the check a warm thanks so much, or thank you, or even I really appreciate it, goes an incredibly long way. These phrases are about connection, not just a transaction.
So my advice would be, if you're ever in doubt, just add a please or a thank you. You truly can almost never be too polite in these situations.
Good rule of thumb.
You can say a quick thank you when your drinks arrive, another one when your food is served, maybe when they clear the plates, when the bill comes. These small acknowledgments just create a much more pleasant, more human atmosphere for everyone involved.
Definitely. It makes the whole experience nicer for you and for the server. And this brings us nicely to another, sometimes surprising aspect of dining out in some English-speaking countries, particularly the U.S. maybe. Small talk.
Ah, the small talk.
Yeah. This raises an important question about the role of these social pleasantries in a service context. It's not necessarily about launching into a deep, meaningful conversation.
Yo, definitely not.
But it's often a brief moment of connection that just sort of humanizes the transaction and maybe builds a little rapport. Waiters are sometimes even encouraged by their managers to engage in this kind of brief, friendly banter.
Yes, this is where it gets particularly interesting, maybe even a bit challenging for some listeners, the small talk. In American and maybe British culture especially, a brief, friendly chat with your waiter is pretty common. They might initiate it. The waiter might start with something simple like, how's your day going, as they pour your water? Or maybe check in mid-meal with, how's everything tasting? Or, is everything okay here?
Very standard check-ins.
And it's just meant as a quick acknowledgement,
Yeah.
right? A friendly nod. It's usually not an invitation to tell your entire life story.
Absolutely not. Keep it brief. Your responses can be really simple. It's going great, thanks. How about you? Or just, everything's good, thanks. Or, yes, it's lovely, thank you.
Let's try it quickly. Expert, you're the waiter again, checking in on my meal.
All right, here I come. How's everything tasting for you today?
Oh, everything's absolutely delicious. Thank you so much. This pasta is amazing.
Perfect. See, simple, positive, polite. You acknowledge the question, give a brief positive answer, added a thank you. You don't need to elaborate much beyond that unless you genuinely want to comment on something specific. It's just a polite and brief reply. It's perfectly sufficient, especially if you're maybe feeling a bit shy or you're just focused on your meal or your conversation with your dining companions. It builds that little rapport without demanding much from either party. It's like a micro moment of human connection in the middle of the service.
Okay, that's good to know. Keep it brief, polite, and positive if possible. So, wow, we've covered a lot. What does this all mean for you, the listener? Well, hopefully you feel you are now equipped with the phrases, the strategies, and the cultural understanding to confidently take on pretty much any restaurant in an English-speaking country. We've covered confidently ordering using phrases like, I'll have, can I get, I'd like. We've talked about asking those intelligent questions about the menu. What's in this? Is it spicy? Does it contain nuts? We've looked at understanding what the waiter might ask you about drinks, how food is cooked, sides, navigating payment and tipping, and even those crucial social cues like politeness and small talk that really make all the difference between just getting food and having a pleasant interaction.
And please remember, practice truly does make perfect. These aren't just tools for, theoretical knowledge locked away in your brain. They're absolutely for real-world application. The more you actually use these phrases, the more you engage in these simple interactions, the more natural and comfortable they'll inevitably become. You build that muscle memory.
Absolutely. All right, so building on that, here's your challenge for today. We like to give you something concrete to work on. It's a 3-step challenge. Step 1. Sometime today or tomorrow, imagine you're at a restaurant, maybe your favorite one or one you'd like to try, and practice ordering a full meal drinks, maybe an appetizer, a main course, and dessert out loud. Actually say the words. Really visualize the waiter, the menu, the whole scene.
Get into character.
Exactly. Step 2. Record yourself saying it. Just use the voice memo app on your phone. It's super easy. Listen back to it. How do you sound? Do you sound confident, clear, polite?
It can be really revealing to hear yourself.
It can. And step 3, try to use at least one new phrase or strategy from this deep dive the very next time you order food in English. Even if it's just ordering coffee at your local cafe, or maybe even at a fast food drive-thru. Just try one new thing.
That's great advice. Embrace the learning process, step by step, and really celebrate those small victories along the way.
Yeah.
Every polite please you remember to add, every clear question you manage to ask about the menu, every time you understand the waiter's question, that's a genuine step closer to true fluency and that real-world confidence we've been talking about.
Well said. And we'd love to hear from you, too. In the comments below, tell us what's your favorite dish to order when you're speaking English. Or perhaps, what's a phrase from today's deep dive that you're actually excited to try out next time you're in a restaurant or cafe?
Yeah, share your experiences.
We read all the comments.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about this. While the words we've discussed today, the phrases, give us the structure we need. They allow us to convey our literal message, right? I want this food. But it's really the combination of using those words with politeness, with confidence, maybe with a bit of that cultural awareness that truly makes your whole experience flow smoothly. It invites not just a transaction for a meal, but potentially a genuine human interaction. So maybe think about this. How else can understanding these kinds of subtle cultural norms, beyond just language rules, unlock deeper connections and richer experiences in your daily life, far beyond just ordering food?
That's a great thought to ponder. How those cultural layers enrich everything. Fantastic. Well, that wraps up our deep dive for today. Tomorrow, we'll be tackling another really practical topic, how to ask for and give directions in English. Another absolutely essential skill for navigating any English-speaking environment, whether you're traveling or living there. So don't miss it.
Looking forward to that one.
See you tomorrow. And until then, keep talking, keep practicing, and enjoy learning English.
Bye for now.